You're listening to a download from the outdoorstation.co.uk. Number 563.
Well, hello everyone. It has been rather a long time, hasn't it? Well, welcome to number... In fact, I don't even know what number it is. I think it's 561. Number 561. And as you will know, if you're a regular listener or you're somebody who's been sitting patiently waiting for me to press record again, it's just been a year now, or fractionally more, since my last missive, and there's been various bits of correspondence, some very supportive comments from people on the Facebook page, but as you can see, I have been fairly inactive. So, first of all, let me just mention a few people. Let me mention a few people who have been very supportive and said, how you doing, and when are you doing the next one, and we miss you, and all that sort of stuff. And when I've actually just made a note on a piece of paper of all the names, I'm quite embarrassed, really, in the sense that these people have been very supportive, and I haven't really given anybody an explanation to the reason for not really posting anything for 12 months. So, with no further ado, I just want to say thank you to Graham Cox, Alan Bellis, Mike Gillespie, Anthony, I can never pronounce your surname, Anthony. Wewell, is that right? Wewell, Anthony Wewell, Mark Jan de Ellimans, Esther Take, Steve Doyle, J.R. Newton, Sarah in New Zealand. I hope you're enjoying your run this morning, Sarah. Trails Around the World podcast, Margaret Oliver, Craig Gully, Mike Elliott, Nick Miles, Ginge Scarf, Scott MacArthur, Phil Osborne, Nick Day, Michael Harris and David Murphy. And that's just going back through a few posts on the Facebook page of people who have been very supportive, saying, how you doing, what's going on, are you going to do something else? Well, let me start off by giving you a little bit of an explanation. I've run out of steam, basically. I ran out of steam this time last year. And I felt I was chasing my tail, and to be honest, the social media scene and the podcast scene was changing so rapidly. If you're similar age to me, you just can't keep up with it. Mentally, I can't keep up with it. It was wearing me out, and so I took the decision to stop making podcasts for a while, and that while unfortunately lasted longer than I thought it might do. Having said that, I've been keeping an eye on other people's new podcasts. Good to see some new voices and people attempting to follow their heart and produce a range of content depending on their particular needs. That's been good to see. But really, the landscape has become absolutely packed with distractions. And distractions that could be content that is well worth listening to. And to the other end of the scale, it's content that isn't worth listening to, and that can be for a whole variety of reasons, whether the sound quality isn't good enough or the content is just not suiting your taste or my taste. So in the 12 months I've been watching it, things have changed. Things have changed quite dramatically with people's expectations of social media. I'm sure you find that yourself in your own life. And demands are getting more and more instant. And so it was a good break. And I have been speaking to a few potential interviewees, purely going back to my roots, as it were, talking to interesting people that have done a whole variety of things. And again, this is a bit of an example about what has changed. Expectations. I was talking to a recruitment person the other day, and they were saying that now businesses have to really work hard to persuade potential employees to join them, because potential employees have got expectations which have now manifested themselves coming out of COVID, that employers have got the boot on the other foot, in the sense that here's the job, this is what you get, this is what you do, blah blah blah, and the person being recruited goes, yeah, but I'd also like to have this, or I'd like to have that, or I'd like to work from home, or semi-work from home, or have that flexibility. And the employers are having to go, right, okay, well, actually, you also get health allowance, or you get a free gym, or tea and coffee, or whatever it may be. And I found myself in a similar situation with a guest who I thought would be absolutely fascinating. She had done a whole variety of cycling trips and was an extremely interesting character with an extremely interesting background. However, she really took the wind out of my sails because she wanted to know all the questions beforehand. Well, for people that listen to me, you know, a bit more sort of loose than that. I have a slight structure, but I like to follow where the conversation goes. She wanted to have full editorial control, so that she would listen to the edit before it was released and could request changes to the edit. And if she found that the presentation caused her any issues in the future, I don't know what that might be, but you know, you've got to understand people's sensitivities, then I would pull it. She would have control from and demand it would be withdrawn. And I couldn't quite bring myself to continue with the interview, to be honest. I've found in the past people much more at ease with telling their story and going off down different rabbit holes, which sometimes are interesting, sometimes they're not. But I always give people a chance at the end of the interview to say, if there was something they're not happy with, that's the time to do it. Or if we're starting to have a conversation and it goes off down a rabbit hole and it really isn't going anywhere for either person, we just stop and say, okay, we'll cut that bit out, let's just carry on. So that's been my approach to producing podcasts. And like I say, I've suddenly found myself, the boot was on the other foot for me as well. I was having to say, well, no, it's really worth doing, and you don't have to worry about it. And then I realised I was making excuses, and I was thinking, hang on a second, I'm helping you with your publicity, and by return, you trust that you're in the hands of somebody who knows what they're doing, I guess. But the other thing I noticed, because obviously I naturally did the research on the person concerned, and she had done various interviews with various other podcasts, and a bit like sort of celebrities when they are launching a film or a play or a book or something, and they go on all the various media outlets, they all repeat the same stories over and over again. And that's what she was doing. So none of the podcasts really explored their particular niche particularly well, once I realised that she had probably said the same thing to them as well. So that brought me up, and that was sort of towards the end of the last year, beginning of this year, I was going to do that and sort of start the year just within the 12 months of silence and go, right, I'm back and I'm doing it, and so on. But I find myself now just wondering who I want to speak to and who will be interesting and entertaining and inspiring for you guys. The other thing that's happened over the last 12 months is obviously my mailing list has suddenly appeared, my email has suddenly appeared on the mailing list of publicity people dealing with individuals that have done interesting stuff, maybe not necessarily super interesting from my point of view, but certainly, they've climbed certain mountains or whatever, but the whole packaging of the person and their story is getting very, very samey. And I know that email is coming to me, and it's also going to numerous other people. So things have changed slightly. But that doesn't mean to say I'm not going to do any more. I'm still open to people making suggestions or having leads. I prefer people, if at all possible, to contact me directly through the website or the social media pages, I guess. I haven't been particularly active on the social media. Again, I just find it incredibly frustrating and draining. And what I really should do is hire somebody who's much younger than me and much more in tune with the media world generally, or the social media world, that can repackage and repurpose and put things out. But that seems to be the buzzword at the moment. Authenticity, repurposing, and packaging and presenting. So you never know, this might be a change for me. Talking of which, I've decided to make a few changes this year, and I have really gone for the live streaming. I've started the if you've been following me, you'll know I've done a live stream from the National Running Show in January. And since then, I've done a business one, which is the Chamber of Commerce, the local Chamber of Commerce business exhibition here. So my working activities, I'm still producing, or I intend to produce material for the outdoors world, but I'm also renting my services as either a podcast producer or a video producer or a live stream producer with the equipment, etc., to people who are willing to pay for it. It's been a long time since I've actually covered my costs on the production that I've been putting into the outdoor station for years, and yes, it has been supported by the other activities, but it is not cheap. And sitting with 560 odd podcasts on a file somewhere in the ether, paying for that by the month has been not cheap either. So I need to look at it more sensibly. And that's the other thing I think I've picked up as well. Looking at the social media world and the new podcasters and the new people on LinkedIn that I'm sort of mixing with, everybody's much more commercial with the way that they're approaching things. So that people who are starting a podcast pretty well from fresh are looking for sponsorships and so on to develop what they're doing. I do have a sponsor in the wings for the podcasts, and I shall talk more about them at a later stage. So that is sort of some of the background to where I'm coming from or what's been going on the last 12 months. I have been busy doing a variety of other things, and also starting this service, this production service has taken a fair amount of time. So there's a website up and running for that, so I'll tell you more about that at a later stage. Now, on top of all of that, I am producing a live stream from the National Outdoor Expo up at the NEC in a couple of weeks' time, or less than a couple of weeks now. March the 24th, I will be there on the Sunday. Now, referring back to the National Running Show, it's the same organisers, Raccoon Media, which went exceedingly well. I've got a cameraman with me this time rather than trying to do it all myself, which was a little bit of a handful. And it's pretty slick, actually. We'll be sending the signal back to the studio. There's a studio being run by Jess over in Redditch, and he is putting the polish and all the things that I've designed to go over the top, and graphics and slides and that sort of stuff, before it's beamed out to numerous places. YouTubes, a couple of YouTubes, Facebooks, Twitter, LinkedIn, and no, it's not on Instagram, is it? Is that the lot? Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. Yeah, I think it's the lot. Anyway, it's going into about 8 different networks. And I'd love it if people would come along, and if they're not going to the show, tune into the live stream. That would be absolutely fabulous, and leave some comments as we do it. Now, the Outdoor Station live stream is the only one that you can leave comments on that I will see. The other ones I won't see. And you can find a link to that on any of my social media. If you go to the outdoorstation.co.uk, it's on the front page. And if you just follow the link to the YouTube link there and click the notify me, that'll send you a notification. But I'm going live 9 o'clock on Sunday morning on the 24th. Now, if you want to go to the show and want some discounted tickets, you could use my promo code, which is Outdoor Station. That's singular, no, just one S. Outdoor Station, and that will give you 50% off the ticket prices if you're going to the show in Birmingham. And if you are going and you see me there, then just quickly grab me. I might have a quick word with you, but it would go out live on air, and I expect to be streaming for about 3 hours. 3 to 4 hours. I did 3 hours last time. It depends on the battery power for the transmitter, if I'm being honest. So the stream is being sponsored by Valiant Peak Outdoor Retailer, online retailer, as many people will know the name, I'm sure. And they are arranging various promotions they're doing at the show and discounts. And we will be able to pass that on to you if you're not going to the show, but you're watching online. And you'll be able to achieve the same discounts with an online order. So again, well worth tuning in. And on top of talking to them, I'm talking to about a dozen other stands, a whole variety of things from pack rafting, cycling and hiking, and might be a mini caravan or something there as well. And they are doing various promotions, and a lot of them have also agreed to put the promotion out through us as well, so you can deal with them directly and achieve a bit of a discount if you want their stuff. So isn't that fantastic? So as I say, check my social media out, use the link tree that's there, or just go to the website and follow the link that way. And I think I've also put it on the social media as well. There's so many places to put stuff. It takes me hours. It really does to get the message out. So, but either way, anybody who has enjoyed listening to me over the years and just wants to see what goes on, you'll see there. And the way we're running it is I'm doing the introduction, hopefully talking to the sponsors. Then I'm taking pictures as I move from one stand to the next. Those pictures are being instantly uploaded to the website, or to the program rather. So you'll see that on the stream, and then we come back and I then talk to the next person, and then we keep going on until we finish or collapse on our knees. So supportive comments are always welcome, and it's lovely to get those when you're in the middle of a stream and know that people are enjoying it. And also, if you want to ask any questions of anybody that I'm speaking to, then the delay is only about 6 to 10 seconds. So if you're quick with your thumbs and can get a message up on the YouTube channel, then Jess will tell me I've got messages and we can see those. And I can ask the people on your behalf whatever it is you want to ask them. So that is... Oh yes, I've got another bit of news as well. Now, I suppose it's a bit cheeky of me, this, to be honest, but I'll mention it. Now, the Outdoor Expo are also, for the first time this year, running various awards. And the Valiant Peak have been nominated for Online Retailer. And we, or the Outdoor Station, has been nominated in the Outdoor Podcast section. And so if you go to the Outdoor Expo website and you go to awards, and you go, I think they've got a big vote here button, click on that and then go down, you'll see the various categories, and by all means please vote for Valiant Peak, and if you could slip a vote in for us as well, that would be really nice. But I mean, it's the first I heard about it today, and then there's only 10 days to go. They didn't let anybody know, and like the TGO awards, they let you know that you've been nominated, so it came as a bit of a surprise, but a very pleasant surprise. So not only are we there doing a live stream, we're also potentially there waving a flag on our behalf. In fact, I must get some branding done, a jacket or a t-shirt or something with the Outdoor Station logo on it so people spot me. Make more sense that, wouldn't it? What else have I got to talk about? What are my notes here? So you've had the 50% discount, half price discount on the tickets. Yes, I've joined LinkedIn, finally joined LinkedIn. I started that this year, primarily to see where I could take the live streaming service and the podcasting service to record other people's stuff. So if you're a LinkedIn user, then look me up on there. You know my name, Bob Cartwright. And although the Outdoor Station isn't there as part of the business, 3 Counties Live is my live streaming service, or my production service. 3 Counties Live. So check me out. By all means, drop me a connect or a link or whatever it is you have to do on LinkedIn. I'm still getting my head around it. It isn't the slickest thing, is it? I have to say, coming to LinkedIn, I was expecting to be blown away with sophistications and the way things work and links and whatever else. And I find it really lumpy. You can't search for certain things, or the search that's there is very, very thin on the ground. So if I wanted to look for, I don't know, marketing people in the Worcester area where I'm based, there's no way of doing it. So I spend a lot of time just flipping through there, which is annoying rows no end, but that's life, I guess. What else? Let's have a think for a second. Oh, I know. Yes, now, so what are the plans? What are the plans, I hear you ask. Right, I think there is a mixture of things going on here. What I want to do with the outdoor station, I'm going to start doing more gear reviews, and that's not necessarily gear that we sell in the shop. It's other gear as well. So I shall be looking at various suppliers to let me have samples, to have a look at rucksacks, stoves, whatever. But it's not going to be all gear reviews. I sort of want to mix it up through the month, so perhaps have one podcast or video or both as an interview with either a brand or perhaps somebody that's done an adventure, a trip, or an experience or whatever. Perhaps one gear review. Perhaps take some equipment out and go and camp somewhere and do that type of presentation, just sort of test equipment out, as it were, in the field. So a bit of a mix and match, really. And although I really did in the past beat myself up if I wasn't releasing something every week, and it would literally, I'd finish one production and go straight into the next, preparing the interviews and working out the questions and doing the research on the person and gathering all the photographs and doing the video and all the rest of it. It might be a little bit sporadic as we get going, but that is the intention. So the people who have been supportive and who hopefully will be listening to this wondering what the hell's been going on, I hope I've given you a little bit of background, but also I hope I've whetted your appetite that I'm going to get back in the saddle and give it another go and see if we can get going steadily. As I say, I've got a sponsor that's interested in supporting me, and it's a product that is going to be a lot of interest, I think, to outdoors people generally, a British company, and so I look forward to talking with them a bit more and explaining more about the product and how, well, yes, you know what it's like. I've got some, Rose has got some, most of the family have got some, and we're all quite impressed with it. So I'll share that in more detail when the time comes. In fact, I might make that one of the first podcasts. That might make more sense, mightn't it? So I think that is pretty well it, really. This is more of an introduction, a catch-up, an apology, and an explanation of what's coming next. I am back. I am intending to be back on a more regular basis, and I'm intending to talk to people that really you want to listen to. So if you've got any suggestions, then please drop me a line so I can understand the flavour of the demand. So if you want to talk to extreme adventurers, or want me to talk to extreme adventurers, then let me know. If you want to talk to, shall I say, normal people doing interesting things, which tends to be where I find the most enjoyable conversations, to be honest. But normal people doing interesting things, then let me know. And if you want to know more about certain products or brands or developments or something in the business world, perhaps, outdoor business, then drop me a line on that score. But my voice is back. I'm back again to dull you off to sleep or to keep you entertained or occupied while you're running or commuting in a car. Does anybody commute in a car anymore? Yeah, that's sort of died a death, isn't it? I get quite nervous when I leave the house these days. It's a whole new experience going up to Birmingham or down to London. It's like I actually find it really unnerving. I don't know about you guys. Do you feel the same way? Anyway, So from my little hobbit hole here in the heart of Worcestershire, just below the Malvern Hills, thanks ever so much for listening. I hope that's an informative piece for you. And if you're making it to the Outdoor Expo, then you see me, give me a nod, give me a nudge. I might have a quick word with you, and I don't have to go live with you if you don't want to. Don't worry about that. And if you're not going to the show, but you'll want to sit there on Sunday morning over your bacon sandwich and your coffee, wondering what's going on and get more of a feel for all the background of what's happening at the show and what sort of bargains I might be stumbling across or whatever, then do tune in and do say hi on the chat and do let me know where you're watching from. It would be great to know that you're there. So, as always, folks, take care out there and bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. To hear or see more from our extensive free library, please visit theoutdoorstation.co.uk.